On December 13, 2022, 3-year-old Brighton Sagini vanished. He was last seen near a stream where he and his 8-year-old sister, Chantel, along with other children, would be sent to fetch water. The next day, baby Sagini was found. He had been placed inside a sack and dumped in a maize plantation less than 30 meters from the family's house. His tiny body bore signs of severe trauma. He was alive, but his eyes had been gouged out, leaving the little boy blind. Soon, the case would spiral into one of the most disturbing child abuse cases in recent Kenyan history. Investigations into the gruesome case began. Neighbors were angry, and suspicion quickly fell on baby Sagini's step-family. Sagini's stepdad, Thomas, emotionally defended himself after he was accused of being the perpetrator of the heinous crime. He said that on the day Sagini went missing, he came home and was told that his son was lost. He had a conversation with his mother, Rael Mayaka, who told him that she had been searching for the young boy but hadn't found him yet. Thomas said that he and his mother went out to continue the search, even passing through the same maize field where Sagini would later be discovered, but they didn't find him. The maize plantation baby Sagini had been dumped in belonged to his aunt, 51-year-old Pacifica Nyakerario, and her 27-year-old son, Alex Ochogo. Pacifica was nowhere to be found. Baby Sagini was rushed to Marani Sub-County Hospital. The doctors treating him reported that he had severe injuries, including multiple scratch marks likely inflicted by more than one person. His eyes had been gouged out and his eyelids appeared dark. He also had a 1-centimeter bruise below his right eye and scratch marks on his neck believed to have been caused by a sharp object. He was later referred to Kisii Eye Hospital for specialized care. The police began searching for Pacifica Nyakerario. Her son, 27-year-old Alex Ochogo, was arrested shortly after it emerged that on the day baby Sagini was found in a maize plantation, he had been seen escorting her to a bus station where she fled to Nairobi. Police later traced Pacifica to an estate in Kasarani where her daughter lived. A senior detective from the DCI headquarters in Nairobi described how officers rescued Pacifica from an angry mob at Kilomita Moja police station that was intent on attacking her. She was then transported to Kisii police station. Pacifica was arraigned in court a day after her son. She cried during the entire hearing and asked that it be conducted in the Kisii language. With two of the main suspects now in custody, other members of the family, including Sagini's stepfather and his grandmother, Rael, were detained and questioned by police. Baby Sagini's mother, Maureen Nyaboke, was also detained by police after she went to visit her son in hospital for the first time 4 days after his attack. Investigators then began to dig deeper into the family background. Brighton Sagini and his older sister, Chantel, were the children of Maureen Nyaboke. Maureen had married Thomas Ongaga, who was not their biological father. Despite this, Thomas had assumed a fatherly role, and for some time, the family lived together. They struggled financially, surviving on odd jobs. However, tensions grew between Maureen and Thomas due to mounting financial hardships and personal disagreements. Eventually, Maureen left the home and reportedly secured a job, leaving her children in the care of their stepfather and his elderly mother, 80-year-old Rael Mayaka. However, not everyone in Thomas's family welcomed the children. In a statement to police, Sagini's grandmother, Rael, accused her daughter-in-law, Pacifica, of harming the 3-year-old boy. Pacifica had been married to Rael's son. Rael admitted to having a strained relationship with her daughter-in-law and claimed that Pacifica, together with her son, Alex Ochogo, plotted to harm baby Sagini. According to Rael, the motive behind the attack was a dispute over ancestral land that Sagini was meant to inherit. She told detectives that the two suspects were determined to eliminate the boy because, as a stepchild in the family, they did not want him to lay claim to the land. She alleged that despite being advised against it, the two came up with a plan and were determined to harm baby Sagini. 51-year-old Pacifica Nyakerario, her 27-year-old son Alex Ochogo, and 80-year-old Rael Mayaka were initially charged with attempted murder. However, due to insufficient evidence, the charges were changed to causing grievous bodily harm to 3-year-old Brighton Sagini. The trial exposed significant contradictions between the statements of Pacifica Nyakerario and her son Alex Ochogo. In her testimony, Pacifica claimed that she had traveled to Nairobi for the very first time on the day baby Sagini went missing to allegedly visit her sick daughter. However, under cross-examination by the prosecution, she admitted that she had not brought her daughter or any other witness to court to support her alibi, saying they were too afraid to testify. Despite her claims, mobile data obtained from Safaricom revealed that Pacifica was at home when baby Sagini was attacked and traveled to Nairobi after his disappearance. She also told the court that she had left her son, Alex Ochogo, at their home in Nukuruma village on that fateful day. Alex denied his mother's account. He insisted that he was not at home when Sagini disappeared, claiming he had been working at a construction site in Kisii town. However, his testimony quickly unraveled under scrutiny. There were blatant inconsistencies in his timeline. He had also claimed that he was at a bar with Sagini's father on that day, but he had also been spotted escorting his mother to the Kisii bus terminal. The prosecution pointed out that these claims conflicted with each other and could not have all happened at the same time, casting serious doubt on his credibility. A crucial witness, whose identity remains protected and is referred to only as Alex's girlfriend, provided damning testimony. She stated that on the day of the attack, Alex came home drunk, took a knife, and left. Later that day, she had movements outside and went to check. She saw Alex, in the company of the other suspects, returning with a sack that appeared to have something wrapped inside. She claimed to have witnessed the suspects place the sack under the bed and close the bedroom window. According to her, a few hours later, Alex was drunk and told her that he had dumped the sack in a nearby maize field. Soon after, baby Sagini was discovered in the field, horribly injured and with his eyes missing. The witness further testified that Alex had blood on his face when he returned. When she questioned him about it, he became aggressive and violent, forcing her to flee to her parents' home. She told the court that Alex was the one who committed the brutal attack and that his co-accused were actively trying to cover up the crime. Investigators initially theorized that baby Sagini's eyes had been gouged out at a separate location before he was dumped in the maize plantation where he was later found. According to their findings, Sagini was likely kidnapped, mutilated, stuffed in a gunny bag, and kept overnight. The suspects allegedly believed he had died and dumped him the following day. Following the attack, baby Sagini and his older sister Chantel were removed from their stepfamily's care and placed under state protection. Josephine Karemi, the caregiver responsible for them, testified in court about the condition in which she received the children. She said that they were hungry and would overfeed, indicating that they were not used to being fed regularly and properly. She added that they were extremely aggressive and frequently used abusive language. Their behavior indicated that they were brought up in a hostile environment. There were contradicting accounts on how baby Sagini went missing. Rael Mayaka testified in court that on the morning of his disappearance, she was informed that baby Sagini had defecated in a cooking pot. She said that she punished him by caning him on the legs, and that was when he ran away and eventually disappeared. However, Chantel's testimony was different. The children testified in court via video link under the supervision of their caregiver. Chantel recalled that on December 12th, while fetching water from the river, Sagini lost his jerrycan and went to search for it, but he never returned home. She stated that she and others continued with their daily chores, but the following day, someone informed their grandmother that Sagini had been found dumped in a maize plantation. Baby Sagini also gave testimony with the help of his caregiver. When asked who had harmed him, he identified his grandmother, Rael Mayaka, as the one who gouged out his eyes. He said, quote, "She's the one who removed my eyes. I don't want to talk about her." Afterwards, he refused to answer any more questions. Their caregiver, Josephine Karemi, told the court that both children underwent psychosocial support and have since shown improvement and are recovering gradually from the trauma they endured. Brighton Sagini's cousin, Alex Ochogo, his aunt, Pacifica Nyakerario, and grandmother, Rael Mayaka, were found guilty of conspiring and causing grievous harm to the 3-year-old. During sentencing, Kisii resident magistrate Christine Ongweno identified Pacifica and Rael as accomplices in the crime. She noted that the incident had a devastating impact not only on the child and his family, but also on the wider community. She added that the case faced multiple challenges as the victim was very young and the offense occurred within the family setting. According to court findings, the 3 accused placed Baby Sagini in a gunny bag and hid him under a bed in a filthy, poor ventilated room, likely believing he was dead. The next day, they dumped him near his cousin's house, where he was discovered with his clothes torn, his face blood-stained, and his eyes missing. The court acknowledged that the case involved extreme cruelty. The young boy had lost both his eyes in an attack that was considered unusually brutal in the area. The magistrate pointed out that such a crime carried serious aggravating factors and required firm punishment.
Rael Nyakerario Mayeka. She is sentenced to serve 5 years imprisonment. For the second accused person, Pacifica Nyakerario Ochogo, sentenced to serve 10 years imprisonment. However, for the first accused person, who was a muscle behind the offense here, he is sentenced to serve 40 years imprisonment.
The sentences were intended to rehabilitate the offenders, prevent similar crimes in the future, and protect other vulnerable children. The court emphasized the need to send a clear message against such acts, especially those committed within family settings. 1 year later, Rael Mayaka, through her lawyer, successfully appealed her sentence on the grounds that the prosecution failed to provide enough evidence to prove her guilty beyond reasonable doubt. In his judgment, Justice Kiari highlighted several weaknesses in the prosecution's case, including inconsistencies in witness testimonies and concerns about one key witness's mental health, which affected their credibility. The lack of proper support, such as a sign language interpreter for this witness, also undermined the reliability of the evidence. The court further criticized the police investigation, noting that it failed to clearly establish Rael's role in the attack. Following the ruling, her lawyer welcomed the decision and called on the public to receive her back with compassion, emphasizing that her innocence had now been confirmed. Rael credited her release to prayer and expressed gratitude to God.
The court has today come out clear and said that there was no evidence at all against the accused person. One of the witnesses alluded to the fact that she assisted the principal offenders after they had finished, to conceal evidence. But even that one, the court has said that the investigations were not properly carried to show that she actually participated even in concealing the evidence in this matter.
Mimi hakuna kitu. Si mimi peke yake nyumba yangu. Hakuna mtoto. Si mtoto hii ni mchukuu, ni yangu. Mungu anatoa nyumba ya chera. Asante. Anakoka saiti. Hakuna maneno ngine.
Citizen TV journalists went back to Ikuruma village after the sentencing of the suspects. The family home was in a state of disrepair, and Sagini's stepfather, Thomas Ongaga, looked like he had fallen on hard times and was struggling after the traumatic events. Despite the gravity of the case, some residents and neighbors said that they would be willing to accept Rael Mayaka back into their community. Babysagini's mother, Maureen Nyaboke, who had been detained and questioned by police, was released. The case garnered significant public attention, and politicians stepped forward to assist Babysagini and his sister. However, there has been some controversy involved. Former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko and Member of Parliament Japhet Nyakundi had planned to fly Babysagini to China for eye implant treatment, but their efforts failed after the child was moved to a government safe house without their knowledge. An anonymous source claimed that the government may have intervened to protect the child, leading to a breakdown in coordination. Sonko revealed that he had contacted Chinese hospitals to explore the possibility of fitting Babysagini with prosthetic eyes that will look and move more like normal eyes but will not restore vision. He denied any political motives and claimed that certain Kisii County leaders were obstructing his efforts, despite his intentions being purely humanitarian.
I volunteered to help. I'm not seeking for any political mileage. But you know my history, my background of helping people in the Sonko rescue team. We've been having several cases. So please, our Kisii leaders will respect the governor, we respect everyone in Kisii, but let's team up together, help Babysagini, fly him out and the sister. We give them serious medical attention, then we take good care of them.
In 2025, Mike Sonko took to social media to express his frustration over the continued lack of medical treatment for Babysagini. He claimed that Babysagini has yet to receive the specialized care he needs, mainly due to restrictions imposed by the children's home where he is being housed, which is a facility run by the Children Welfare Society of Kenya. Sonko accused the home of obstructing efforts to help Sagini, claiming they ignored court orders and declined assistance from international doctors, including a team of Indian eye surgeons who had offered to fit Sagini with bionic eyes. The implants would help him sense his surroundings but would not restore vision.
We have a mention on 7th at the Milimani Law Court. We want that baby to be produced, whether dead or alive. Because huyo mama anabehave kama hana mtoto, anabehave kama hajui uchungu ya watoto, very arrogant, very negligent, very rude. Imagine mtoto anatolewa macho na kisu hivi, macho ikavutwa, hapo na mashimo mbili na vidonda mpaka leo. Now I'm here ready to help the baby. Hata kama awekwe artificial eyes kwanza, akuwe na sura mzuri kama watoto wale wengine. From there, tuende kwa advanced technology, aweke macho zingine zile zitamsaidia at that age, akope nazo polepole, aweze kumsaidia na visual na sight kuonaona. Then from there tumpeleke education asome. Mnatuzungusha, mnadharau mamaji, sisi tunadharau ma court orders, mnadharau mimi, mnadharau children's officers, mnadharau ma director of children's department, mnadharau kila mtu. Who do you think you are?
Sagini's mother, Maureen Nyaboke, also shared her ordeal, saying that despite obtaining court orders from both Kisii and Nairobi, she was repeatedly denied access to her son. She emotionally pleaded for help, saying she was treated like a stranger by the home that currently has custody of her children. As of the time of this recording, baby Sagini remains in protective custody. Medical experts have confirmed that his eyesight cannot be restored due to the extent of the damage. However, prosthetics could potentially improve his quality of life. Thank you so much for listening and watching until the end. As always, I would like to know your thoughts on this case, so feel free to comment. I'd also like to thank all 7,957 of you for subscribing and interacting with my channel. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Faith Njoroge and I will see you on the next one. Bye.